Hello everyone, a very warm welcome on our YouTube channel. This is Dr. Jyoti Bala. A lot of my students were asking me, especially during this COVID period time, to start this YouTube channel and to guide them related to some crucial areas of biology and life sciences because they were not having their regular classes and they are also very confused about the career prospects and the many sectors of biology and life sciences. So I decided to start this YouTube channel to guide them. And this session, I will be focusing about like how to write a research, especially the review article for the beginner students. And if you are a beginner PhD student or research scholar, then also you can watch this video and share these information with your students and your scientific community. So let's start with this session. So for those beginner participant and the student who don't have the ideas about research articles and reviews, I must guide them. First thing is that research reviews and articles are a bit different. Especially if you talk about research articles, it itself are of different types, like they are based on experimental studies, surveys, statistical analysis, and so on. But especially in our biological community, if we talk, we widely use these things, research articles and reviews. So your research article is actually derived and it's a documented original article based on our experimental studies. So in this video, I won't be focusing on research article. Maybe in near videos, I will guide you because this is little bit based on experimental study. So if you are a beginner participant or the student, you might not have done some mini projects or major projects, or you might not have experience working in the actual independent project, then in that case it will be bit lengthy and bit challenging to get a research article. But if you are a student, you have to start with a review article. Review article is a kind of history or a summarized document where we actually write a summary of many research articles. Okay, so depending on your interest, depending on your expertise, if you are a beginner, based on your expertise, based on your interest area, you can start writing mini review, comprehensive review. If you are a expert in some areas, like I am having 15-year experience, international and national, in aptamer technology, in cancer biology, then in that case we get invited opportunities also from the journal side, from the editorial committee, that we should write and we can write review article. But if you are a beginner, still we can write mini reviews and reviews at your stages also. Okay, so before jumping to how to write, let me guide you and give you few key points here. The fundamental planning will be very important here, like what subject area you want to work on in terms of writing the article, writing the review article. Suppose you want to write an article about cancer. So suppose if you want to write about a cancer, either you want to write about the basic biology part or technology part, like how cancer is caused. Cancer itself is of multiple types, like breast cancer, lung cancer. So at a molecular biology level, at mutation level, do you want to write like what is causing that disease, or do you want an article or review related to diagnostic, therapeutics, drug delivery, a technology oriented? So first thing will be, we have to decide on which topic we are going to write our review on. After that, because you are a beginner student, you might have to decide in which journals where we want to submit our article. Because see, if you are a research scholars, you might be having some scholarship. If you are a faculty R&D scientist, you might be having certain grant with you. So in that case, it might be easier to submit a journal to a paid journals also. But if you're a student, we have to wisely decide about the which journals we are going to submit our review article, whether it will be paid one, national, international, whether it is having impact factors. So we have to check all these things. After that, when you are writing this review article, reading a journal guideline will be very important. So read the guideline where we are planning to submit, and then your initial draft, just scrutinize and do the critical reading. Take the advantage of your teachers or the experienced mentor or a senior, so that you can get a critical understanding and feedback from the experienced mentors. And if it required, then you can go for paid service based editing also, and plagiarism things will be also required, services will be required. So all these things is online also feasible nowadays, because many a journal sometimes they will ask you whether we are from a native English speaking country or not. So they sometimes, some journals have those criteria also. Those people will check your language, technical error, editing, plagiarism. So there are online tools also which can take care of all these things. Other than that, if you have some scholarship, you can go and ask for paid services to do these tasks for you. The other thing is, when we are writing any research article or review article, very important part of our review article is references also. So what data, what studies we are putting in our studies or in our article and review, we have to cite them. If you are a beginner, you might be planning to cite all these things manually, but in a long run it might be tedious, because every journals has different style of references. So it's better that we should get some tools like EndNote, Manly, and do these tasks automatically. In a new videos, I will teach you. If you don't know how to use these things, I will be posting all those videos also here. Okay. So either you are going and planning to provide references manually, or you want to use tool. My personal suggestion will be to use EndNote. Okay. After that, I think we all are familiar with the general concept about the review and the bone structure. But the beginner participants who are not familiar, let me guide you the fundamental and the general structure of a review first. So in a review, as I mentioned, it is a kind of history. It's not the experimental data which we are presenting. We might read articles, we are providing the summary, its relevance, its importance, all those things will be provided in the review article. So title of your review will be very important. Make sure that you are writing your title in 8 word, 10 word to 15 words. It should be very crisp. It should tell the relevance of the subject area. It should highlight the key point. Suppose in my case, I have experience in aptamer technology, especially in breast cancer, virology, in this field. So I have written one RNA biology, or RNA biology related and aptamer related review article for HIV. So the title is having all the keywords related to aptamer, HIV, and all those things. So we have to be very crisp, very systematically, in a very crisp way. We have to write first our title. Then come your affiliation, in which countries, in which college, institute you are working on. Many many journal will also ask for designations also, but very rarely, or mostly they will ask you the place where you are working and associated with. Okay. Abstract is a very important and the crucial part of your research articles and reviews. Here we are actually giving a summary of our whole article. So here you will actually, in 150 to 200 word, we have to give the reader an idea like what we are writing, what this review will be about. Suppose in case of aptamer, so what is this aptamer, what is their relevance, what are their different types, how they are generated. If I am talking about aptamers in diagnostic, therapeutic, or sensor or imaging, So that particular areas also I have to emphasize. What are the role or applications, what are their limitations, future prospect, because here we are not giving my whole experimental data. Here I am giving the one part of summary part of that whole studies. So here we have to plan accordingly, give the abstract a summary kind of story. Okay, so just give this summary here with key findings area and keywords. Most of the journals also give you here one section where we have to write about the initial keywords, which are very initials also and very significant also. So like if I am giving you summary of my review article, so I have to mention about aptamers, celix, breast cancer, diagnostic, therapeutics for that. So whoever is new to this article, whoever is new to the subject area can go and read about the keywords here and get the familiarity with the subject area first. Little bit subject understanding they will get from abstract. So whenever you are writing abstract, we have to highlight our key findings, limitations, future prospect, application in a story form, and very precisely in 150 to 200 words. Then introduction and background will be very important, because here we are giving everything in 150 to 200. That depends upon journal to journal. Okay, so when we are writing about the introduction and background, this time we have little bit flexibility, feasibility. We can elaborate these areas what we have started and what we have precisely given in the abstract. So here give the historical perspective first, little bit of background, what that technology is, what that subject area is. Like suppose you are working on cancer, writing a review article on cancer. In cancer, if you are writing about breast cancer or lung cancer, write about the history, the causes, the symptoms, the molecular targets, whatever planning you have, whatever story you have. Based on that, first give the elaboration, start with the history, describe nicely so that the reader can understand, and then slowly complete your story, whatever you have pointed out and drafted in your abstract. After that, in discussion part will be a little bit more important than your introduction and background, because here what we are doing after elaboration, history, subsections, here all these subsection will be required. In the introduction, background, you have given the history, the background, information, applications, role, limitation, everything in the subsection form, and then give the conclusion and discussion. Here you can mention about what other people has done, what is your key point, and what is your uh, if you have done something, some work related to same subject area, then you can also cite your work and correlate these studies, connect the story, what will be the significance, if that technology or subject area is having any limitation, how other people are working on that and solving those issue areas. So these things we have to do in the discussion part, and ultimately conclude all these things in a significant key point areas, like how this subject areas is relevant, what are the recent advancement, what is their limitation, what is your perspective about that technologies and the subject area, how is your understanding or your ideas, if you are giving some input to improve that limitation or troubleshoot those problem areas. So all these things we can mention in a very precisely way in the conclusion section, and then if you want you can give the future prospect also. Okay. Many journals will ask you to provide you the conflict of interest. If there are multiple authors and multiple countries are involved, then we have to give the contributions of those authors. If you are using some grant, then we have to acknowledge all those things. We have to provide the information depending on the which journals we are submitting in. Okay. So all these things you have to take care about the title, precisely summary form. We have to write those things, affiliation, abstract and discussion will be very important. Abstract will be summary kind of your report, you can say, in 150 to 200 words. Discussion is this subject area, connections with your ideas, your, if you have done some work, what others has done, what is the limitation, your perspective you have to mention. So all these things we have to take care. Let me give you one demo review how I usually write. Okay, so it's always better to make a folder, write all your document, either research articles and review article in a this way, in a doc file. Okay, so mostly journals will ask you to provide you cover letter, some conflict of interest notes, and your normal review or article document, sometime in doc file, sometime in PDF file. So I usually maintain in these forms. Like one will be the main review, then cover letter, the conflict of interest. If I'm using any figures or I have made my figures myself, then I don't require copyrights and permission otherwise. So I usually try to make my own summary kind of figures. So these things I can utilize. So whatever understanding with this review I have got, I try to compile those things in a figure form, so it will be easier for others also to understand these things, and try to document all these things in the PPTs first. The main manuscript I usually keep like this. So here will be the your review article, affiliations, corresponding author, email ID, because whoever want to get the understanding about your subject area, or the editorial or journal team, they want to contact you, so we have to provide all those details. The abstract will be very precise in this way. Then you have all the keywords, like this is, we were writing some digital health related IoT review articles, so all these things we have mentioned. Then this is introduction with all the references. So we have arranged and then provided all the subsections. Okay. So maintain your files, the conflict of interest, your figure files, and then arrange all the references either name wise or number wise. Okay. So one way is to document everything nicely in this way. Get all your cover letter, figure, manuscript, and then upload depending on the journals. Okay. So, and when you will publish these things, so let me show you one of my review article which I have already published. Okay. So once it got selected, so this is one review article which we have published in USA RNA Biology journals. This is what I was talking about, aptamers in HIV research and diagnostic and therapy. So you can see in the keywords, you can see all the in the title, you can get the ideas about aptamer, HIV, diagnostic and therapeutic. This is the summary form of your whole studies, where I have mentioned what aptamer are, how aptamer are generated by SEDEX, their application in HIV and all, with all these historical background, along with the subsections like what SEDEX is, what their application, and all the figures also I have designed myself. Okay. So in a similar fashion, you can also plan your review article writing and submit in different journals areas. I believe this information was crucial and informative for you. If you like the videos, I request you to like and subscribe this channel, and please do share these videos along among your scientific community. Thank you so much.